What is it about Saabs? From the land of cruel winters and moose meatballs, this offbeat Nordic brand produced ridiculously clever cars, popularised the turbo, made safety cool, and lives on as the car of choice for movie makers who want that touch of quirky character. Notoriously doomed to a slow corporate death thanks to an ill-fated flirtation with GM, the marque refuses to die. Partly because the blimmin' things go on forever, but mostly because of Saab diehards who swear by their Swedish love affairs. So, we thought it was time on Start Me Up to do a Saab.
Now, there are a lot of people that like Saabs, and our friend Hans is a guy who likes Saabs a lot. He's got mostly 900s in all sorts of states of repair. They're really nice cars, these. Sedans, convertibles, coupes. And so Hans told us he had a car that's been sat here about 6 or 7 years that might be a good one for us to try starting up. And this is the car. It's a newer car than what we're used to dealing with. I don't know how long it's been here, but it's been a while. Yeah. If I have a go at this, I'll be learning a few new things because it's a little bit beyond my my comfort zone. But I'd really like to have a go at starting it. For all the lichen and whatnot all over it, it actually doesn't look too bad. These are the absolute definition of an appreciating classic. They went from being an old car that no one really took much notice of to being something that a lot of people care about really quickly. And I can understand why, they're really lovely. It looks amazing. This looks like a car that should one day be back on the road, even though it doesn't have that appearance now. Now, Hans said the key was in it, which it is, so that's good. I'll have to find the bonnet release. There you go. Now, on the bonnet on these is a bit odd. They open at the front and they open at the back. They pull forward. Right. And there it is. Now, you wouldn't know from looking at it, but I have been assured by good authority that this is actually a Triumph engine. It was derived from the engine that was fitted into the Dolomites. So it's obviously been very much modified since its Triumph days. Saab enthusiasts assure me that it was never a good engine until Saab got hold of it, and that could be true. So it's a slant 4, double overhead cam with a turbocharger. Turbocharger sits in here. Dizzy there. It's actually, this car is front wheel drive. It's a longitudinal engine, but it drives through a transaxle to the front wheels. There's no battery, which is sort of to be expected, I guess. And there's an awful lot of detritus kicking around, but it does seem to be all there. I'd be very surprised if this engine's seized, but we'll have a go. We'll just check if I can get to it. I can't. I'll need tools to check that, but I'm pretty confident that it'll be okay. Yeah, this is like no engine that we've ever had on Start Me Up before. This is it's much more modern. So it's got fuel injection. There's no carburetor. There's a throttle body here. The ignition will be doubtless. It does have a distributor, which is some sort of concession to old technology, but I'm sure it's electronic ignition. And everything will be controlled through an engine management computer. And if that doesn't work, then I wouldn't know where to start. So it's got no battery. So the first thing to do will be to get it powered up and see if basically the electrical systems are working. Let's get on with it. Now, I've actually borrowed my friend's Saab 95 in order to do this job, because I thought it would be appropriate. And I was impressed with it. I thought it was a lovely car. Battery first thing. I don't think I'll be needing all my imperial spanners and whatnot for this one. Hi Alf. Alfie, how you doing? Your legs like, he's not looking well. Poor thing. He's getting on a bit, Alf. Right, now. Now, a favourite trick on Start Me Up is to not worry too much about the fuel tank and all that and just dribble some petrol into the carburetor. That's not the case with this. With a fuel injected car, you have to have the fuel pump running because it pressurises the rail, the fuel rail here, to enable the injectors to work. So if the fuel pump doesn't work, I'm going to have to get it working. There's no shortcuts on this car. Now, let's see if we can power it up. It'd probably just start. Okay, let's see if the electricals power up. Oh, fuel, battery, oil, all looks good. I'm just going to go and see if I can hear the fuel pump in the back. Oh, it's a nice empty boot. Can't hear anything, but it might be the fuel pump doesn't run until the engine's turning over. Shall I see if it turns over? Okay. It turns over. I think the first thing I'm going to do is investigate the fuel pump because I know that I'm going to have that working. So. Alright, okay. These are Torx bits, but I have Torx bits on my knife, so that's good. Well, it's all so modern by my normal. Now the fuel will be old. I mean, Hans said it's been here for 5 or 6 years, so maybe. I mean, the fuel should be alright. Wouldn't imagine it should work. Right. Wow, this is cool. It's got like a little pouch for like tools in there. That's nice. Look at that. They're nice cars, these. Just, I don't know, everything about them's kind of cool. That little. Oh, I could have used that. It's got like a Torx thing. It's great. I'll just. So modern compared to what I'm used to. It's very flash. Now. That's interesting. Where's the actual fuel pump? Right, I'm going to take this big cover off, see what's under there. Something that's all. It'll be on. I'll almost certainly have to get Hans to help me with this, but you know that's okay. Everything's a learning experience, you know. I mean, this isn't really my area of expertise. Now Saab PVC. Now this looks like that is our fuel pump for sure. Which I suppose is a good start, but I don't really know anything about it. So I think I'm going to have to confer with Hans and start my fuel injected journey.
G'day guys.
Hiya.
How's it going?
It's not too bad. I've got it cranking over.
Yeah.
But I'm just like not sure about whether or not the fuel pump's working.
Sure.
So if we just, if I'm right in assuming that the fuel pump only pumps when you've got the ignition actually cranking. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So that's like presumably it's You turn the ignition on, the pump's not running, you start, and then when the engine starts, it knows it needs to keep the fuel pump running here.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
So what I would suggest is, you know, crank the banjo bolt on the fuel line and see if it's getting any fuel coming out.
That's a very sensible idea. Okay, so yeah, we'll just loosen off we're going to loosen off, as Hans has quite sensibly suggested, we'll loosen off this banjo bolt here and then crank the engine. If any fuel should come pushing out of there at a very high pressure, because what pressure does the fuel pump run at?
About 40 psi.
40 psi.
Yes.
And is it presumably when the turbo comes and it has to raise the pressure a bit?
Correct.
Yeah. Because the amount of fuel that goes through the injectors is going to be determined by the difference between the manifold pressure and the fuel line pressure and the fuel rail pressure. So when the ejector opens, there'll be that difference in pressure that determines how much fuel goes through. So in order to keep that constant, when the engine comes on boost, the turbocharger will pump air into the inlet manifold, raise the pressure in the inlet manifold, so the fuel pressure has to rise by a corresponding amount in order to maintain the consistent performance of the injectors. This is me sounding like I know something about fuel injected engines, when actually I can assure you I don't.
No, you're pretty much onto it in that regard.
Yeah. Right, okay. Oh, I think we're almost confident
it looks
that
like
it looks like it's
pressure.
okay. There is pressure.
Okay, so I'll crank it anyway.
Okay. Can you just crank it over? Oh no! Well, that's interesting. There wasn't any. Shall I? Hang on. Right. Again? Okay. That's interesting. That can't have been sat there all that time.
No. So
Maybe.
it looks like the pump is most likely intermittently not working. Perhaps we should just check if there is power going to the
good
fuel
idea.
pump.
Now, I left my electrical box at home, so I forgot to bring it. Have you got a multimeter?
I'll get a test light.
Yeah, okay,
sure.
great. Thanks. Right.
So I get you a torch as well.
No, I got a torch here. So there's a little torque screw that holds the connector on. And so that's thorough, Swedish engineering. To get that off, get this cover off. Get the connector out. Yeah. There we go. Right. Okay. Have we got a multimeter? There. All right. Okay. That's great. Okay. Do you want to go crank the engine? Nothing.
Nothing.
No. I wonder. Hang on. I'll just try it here, Hans. Oh, hang on. This isn't polarized, is it? This tester?
No.
No. Go on. Nothing. It's kind of annoying.
Better check if the test light works.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right. Yeah, it does.
It does. Okay. Then we should probably check the fuel pump fuse.
Ah, yeah, okay, good idea. So we're going to check the fuse for the fuel pump. Look at this. It's also, I don't know, nice.
It is, isn't it?
Well, I'm used to old British cars, mate, so like Triumphs.
No guessing on those.
Right, now, let's have a look. Lambda, fuel. I know that you know this, right? But,
yeah, but I'll let you do the
you let
work.
me figure it out, yeah. Right, number 30. Right, number 30, fuel pumps. That's actually good. So, would this fuse be powered all the time?
That should be powered as soon as I switch the ignition on.
Okay, should we just check that then? Right, do you want to try? I don't know which side, but I'll try both. Okay?
Yeah.
No.
It's not.
No, there's nothing. That's not great. I'm just. Oh, I shouldn't need a great earth, should I? I mean, the ignition's on now, is it?
Yeah.
It's not a bit, nothing. How odd. In a way, that's good because, we can jump it.
Sure. Yeah, we can power it up because that fuse is actually controlled by a relay. So it's quite possible that the fuel pump relay is sticky.
So the fuse is downstream of the relay, is it?
That's correct.
Where is the relay? Is it one of these ones?
No, the relay is under the dashboard.
Oh, right, okay. Interesting. Just as a matter of, the ignition's on now, is it?
It is.
So I'm going to check a few other things, because the rest of it's working, isn't it? I mean, the rest of it does seem to be working. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the ignition system fuse. And I just want to check which side is the power rail and which is the...
We'll just...
Doesn't matter. Hang on.
Doesn't matter.
They should all be the same, eh? Like...
So the top one.
So the outside is the power rail.
Yeah.
So... That's crazy, eh?
So you got no power to the power rail.
Not for that fuel, not for that fuse. But I have for that one. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
That doesn't seem right, does it?
No.
I wonder if we... Because, like... You know, you'd think the fuse would be the first... The fuse has got to be the first thing in the circuit, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything else has got to be downstream of the fuse. So, I'm quite... You know what I'm tempted to do?
Yeah.
Is just jump across from this one into there.
You can do that.
With a little jumper,
Yep.
and just see if that works.
Yes,
Okay.
you can do that.
Should we do that? We'll get a little bit of scrap of wire. Right, we just need a little tiny bit of
I'll go and get
cable.
some.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've made you a little jumper there.
Oh, that's amazing. But hang on. Oh, so I'm just going to jump. What's this fuse here? Is that something important?
So 30 is for the fuel pump.
And what's
the
31?
31 is for the brake lights.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
that's
can-
fine. I
you
don't
can
care
use
about that
one.
The brake lights were on actually. There was an issue with those like earlier. Right, so do you think that'll be alright with no fuse though?
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll be fine.
doesn't fit, mate. Oh, you've done so. Oh man, I'm disappointed, Hans.
Is it too
Like,
short?
The spates are too wide. I tell you what. You know, we're about improvisation here.
That's great.
That's fine. So I just took a little bit more than I could chew there. Right, maybe a little bit more. I lost my little knife. I had a little version of this knife and I lost it, like mysteriously. I don't know, I looked for it for ages and then I couldn't find it, so I just bought this big one, and actually I'm kind of getting used to it now. Don't think I'd go back to the little one. But you have to have this little thing, is I have to carry this thing around on my belt all the time, which is sort of annoying. But, you know. So, and now I just can't help myself. I have to tidy them up a little bit.
You're just showing off now.
No, it's just like I have to. It's like it's perfect. This is like you have to pop this in your toolboxes as a special tool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the fuel pump is still disconnected though.
Okay. Well, should we just do it? I'm going to test it first.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll do the test we did before.
Yep.
So I'll just pop the tester in the. With all the old cars, it's always. Oh,
Look at that.
now why is that active though? What? That shouldn't be. That
Because
shouldn't
you
be active.
jumped it.
Yeah, but I've only jumped the fuse.
Yeah.
So that means that there's circuitry upstream of the fuse.
Yes, so what we have, there is one relay that's for the fuel injection system,
Yeah.
and there is a fuel pump relay. So the
So you've
fuel
got-
injection system relay will actually power the fuel pump relay.
And the fuel pump, and then the fuse is after the relay.
Yes.
Oh, that's so odd, you know, because I always imagine that the fuse is as close as possible to the power supply. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Right. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, can I just try something else just to be like
Yeah,
pedantic? Yeah.
Sure.
Not just because I'm interested, you know. Like I don't know anything about these things. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn off someone that does, like you. Right. So I'm a bit less confused now. That's good. So could we have that back on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, right. So if I put that in there, right. Now, could you crank the engine for me?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Right. That's great. So I'm okay with that. So that's right. There's something upstream of that fuse which isn't working. So we just need to fix. We'll jump that there, and then we're good to go, aren't we? So we should be able to start the engine.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, you know, if there's nothing else wrong. And
Well, the fuel is probably very stale, I would say.
well, 5 years.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be all
Maybe.
right. I mean, oh, mind you, it's a highly sensitive Swedish.
Yeah,
You know,
but
yeah.
I'm not usually a great fan
But it's
of
got a Triumph.
stale fuel.
It's got the heart of a 1960s Triumph, so it'll be fine. In fact, do you remember the one of the favourite cars that did on Start Me Up was my old van, which was a Leyland 15.
Oh yes.
That had a standard Triumph engine in it. So somewhere in this, I would imagine that somewhere there will be some sort of DNA from that old wet sleeve Triumph in this. Is that wet sleeve?
No.
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 Oh, right.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So if I, just for now, I'll go dump that and you just tell me if you can hear the fuel pump running.
Sure.
Yeah? Right, ready?
Yep. Yes.
Yep, great. Okay. Right, let's go. Let's try it. Let's see if we can get going.
There's one thing, Martin.
Yeah.
The little cover
Yeah.
that goes on the two fuel lines that
Yeah.
needs to be on because there is a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah.
So that's why the cover is there to hold the fuel lines on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
of course. Yeah. This is where you can get into a lot of trouble by not knowing what you're doing when you're dealing with modern
go.
high-tech things. Okay, that would have been exciting. Right. Great. Okay. Right, so you can be the ignition guy and I'll be the fuel pump guy. Right. Ready? This is like, on the Batmobile when they go turbines to speed and all that. Turbines to speed. There you go, mate. Okay. I think it's time to check the ignition, eh?
Yep.
Okay, right. That's cool. Just crank the ignition for me again, mate. Nah, that's fine. Okay, we'll have to do the manual fuel pump thing. That's no problem. Right, good. Right, ignition next. Should we just start with the king lead off the ignition, off the distributor, eh? Yeah?
Yeah, just earth it out
Yeah,
on the advanced module there.
Yeah, okay. Is it gonna give me a big shock?
Oh, you don't need to hold it. If you put it anywhere close, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine, yeah. It's a big, powerful, it's a big, powerful electronic system, you know. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Yep, that's fine. Do you reckon we should check downstream of the distributor then, check on a plug? I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, check a plug.
Good
in.
idea.
Yeah. Right, okay, so that's 8mm by the looks. Yeah, this cylinder doesn't look like it's got much of Triumph in it. It's lovely. Okay. Okay, it's been running a little rich by my reckoning, although you can't really tell nowadays with unleaded fuel, eh? Not like the old days. Right, okay, do you want to crank that? Yeah, it's sparking. Looks a little weak, but it's there. Should be alright. It's weird, eh? Maybe it is old fuel, do you think?
Did you put some fresh fuel in it?
No, but we could. I mean, the problem is we'd have to drain the tank, really.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
it's actually showing about a quarter on the gauge.
yeah,
Still.
there'd be a lot to take out of it, eh?
So we've got spark.
Yeah, this
And
is
fuel.
great. This is great. Like, I thought this might end up being too easy, but Right, so we've got spark. We've got fuel to the rail. Actually, we don't know that, do we?
No, should we just check
We
again?
just check again, yeah. We'll check that the pump is actually pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, but it's worth checking because you shouldn't assume things when you're diagnosing. This is great. I'm kind of like enjoying this. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. I think we're okay.
We're fine.
Right. Okay.
So we just give it another go.
Okay, if you want. Yeah, maybe it just needs a little bit of,
Persuasion.
yeah.
Yeah, the pump is running.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Martin.
What?
I'm pretty sure that one of those relays is not working, and if that's the case, we won't get any power to our fuel injectors either.
Ah, that's
So
true.
we've cheated with the fuel pump now, so we're getting pressure, but
Yeah.
we haven't really
True,
put any
yeah,
power
yeah,
to the
yeah.
injectors.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we need to do is get to the bottom of this going on with this fuel power system, eh?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, normally at this stage, I would be getting on the internet and trying to find a wiring diagram. I've got hands. I don't need a wiring diagram. Right. So, what do you reckon?
Yep. Let's sort this out.
Let's sort it out.
Martin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the relays are not in the easiest place.
Yeah. Well.
So
let's
what
see.
we will need to do is we'll need to drop this this part here,
Okay.
because the relays are right on top of the computer.
Oh, okay. So that whole bottom panel needs to come out, does it?
Yes.
It's all held in with Torx screws.
No, it's actually
Those little
it's
clips?
held on with a 10mm bolt in there, and
Oh, right.
another one there, and then one behind the ashtray.
Okay, right. Man, I think it's very safe to assume that I would not have guessed that.
You're absolutely right. But perhaps, when you would have Googled it, it would have come up.
Yeah, that would have come up. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's a relay in there that powers up the fuel system. If we can get that sorted out, then we can check that we get power up to the fuse. And if that's the case, then everything should be fine. Yeah, and we'll go. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's very
That's great.
plausible.
Well, we'll see if we can get it. If we can't get it, we'll have to pull this whole bit out, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
So we'll just see if we can get to the relay,
Yeah.
reaching up under
Yeah.
there. But if we can't, we will need to take the panel
Okay,
off.
well, I've got like little tiny hands.
Yeah, that will help.
I might be all right. Yeah. Okay. So it's up here, is it? It's so great not having to pull everything apart because you've got someone that knows. Okay. All right. So there's the computer. Oh, look at that. Oh wow, it's a Lucas. Great. You know me, I'm a bit of a sucker for English stuff. Right, do we need to pull the computer out, Hans?
It's probably easier, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just go
Maybe
over
you
to
better
the
have a
other
go.
side.
Yeah, you better have a go because I can't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a bit blind.
It's
Do you think we do need to take the
yeah, it'll make it easier if we
Okay.
take the ECU.
ECU out?
It looks like this whole thing has been wet.
Yeah. I'll get you a proper screwdriver. I never thought we'd be doing a start mount where I had to be messing about with a computer.
It's getting too modern.
Yeah. Can I see?
Yep. You shine up there and
Yeah.
you can see that everything is actually quite corroded.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Oh, I see.
Okay. Two relays on a bracket.
Okay. Yeah. If we ever get the screw out. Can't quite get it in there, mate. Things are getting serious now. The crescent spanner has to come off the keyring. I don't have a 1/4 inch. I don't think I have a 1/4 inch spanner, you know, like a. Well, they don't make it easy, these Swedish guys. They're so confident of the reliability of all this stuff, they think, well, no one will ever need to take it out, it's fine. Okay, maybe I think it might be time for a bit of WD-40 on it. So how are they mounted, mate?
Yeah, they just plugged into the bracket from the top.
Right. So can we get those screws out? Or we should just be able to pull them out? Or
I think with your small hands, Martha, you can probably
just
pry them out.
Yeah.
But I would suggest that we disconnect the battery first.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then you can probably use a screwdriver to put under the relays.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you need both of them?
That is the problem. Definitely.
Do you need both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the other one.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Can you see? Oh.
Wow. Yeah, they've definitely...
They're shot, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, is there any way... I don't suppose it's worth testing them. You think they're... Oh, yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure that they are naked.
Okay.
So what I usually do in this case, because those relays are actually the same as the one for the horn and for the cooling fan.
Oh, great.
So I would suggest that we
Should we go and have a look?
Relays out of the fuse box and put them in.
Okay, let's go and have a look. So, Hans, the relays, these are the fuel system relays, and
So that one there.
That one's for the...
That one is for the, let's have a look.
That's for the air conditioning.
Yeah, for the air conditioning cooling fan.
And that one's for the air conditioning.
Yes.
And that one's for the cooling. So these are actually just the aircon.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so... Oops, I've wrecked that one now. So we've pulled these, and these ones they look fine. They're exactly the same. That's so great. All right, let's get them back in. It was quite hard getting them out.
I know.
And it's going to be very difficult getting them back in. But never mind. Alright, so these relays that sit on top of the ECU are not all that accessible, and the screws that were, we thought I would take the bracket out, but it was really, the screws were really rusty and it was a big problem. So we took the whole ECU mounting bracket out, and we've taken the air conditioning relays out of the fuse box and stuck them in to replace the rusty fuel injection system relays. And now we're going to see if we've got power up to the fuel pump. And if that's working, then I think we've got a good chance of running. Okay?
Sounds very plausible.
So, right, let's get these tools out. Right, we're connecting up the battery again. Okay. Right, that's good. Now, if I've got a Hans tester here. So what I'd like to do before I do anything is just see if we're now getting power up to the fuel pump, because I think that'll be a good sign if we are. Right. Do you want to just crank the engine for me, mate?
Yes. Yep.
Yep, it's all good. Yeah. Okay, this is going to go, I reckon.
It's not starting now.
No, because I haven't got the relay in. Right, try it now. What's that? Well done, man. That was great. Awesome. Thank you. That sounds pretty rattly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because it's been sitting for so long. All the hydraulic lifters, there won't be any oil in it.
Oh, right. So it'll take a while for it to calm down.
It'll probably take about 10 minutes to pump up.
That's great.
But it sounds like it's got an exhaust leak as well.
Oh, yeah.
So what I usually do, I usually switch the engine off now.
Yeah. Right, that's really high idle, eh?
Yeah.
So you say that's something to do with the way the ECU works, is
Yes, because the ECU is adaptive.
Yeah.
So because everything has been disconnected, it will need to relearn where it.
It's not like a stuck throttle.
No,
I'm so old school, eh?
No,
I just think, it's got to be a stuck throttle, isn't it?
No, this is your idle air control valve.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Which is regulating the idle speed.
Oh, of course,
and, that gets its signal from the ECU.
So in order to control the idle, it bleeds air downstream of the throttle body.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I see,
Yeah, it bypasses the throttle body through there.
Oh, of course, yeah, right, okay. It's great. It's like, I have to say, I'm kind of really enjoyed it, because it's like I never had anything to do with any of these engines. You know, it's all been
too modern.
Yeah, it's all too modern, but it is cool. Like, they're amazing things. It sounds like from just out of your apprenticeship, Hans, you've pretty much been working just on Saabs.
Yes, that's right.
And what is it about Saabs that, like, is it really just because you're super familiar with them, or do you think they're better than other cars?
Well, I'm originally from Holland, as you can probably judge by my accent.
Yeah.
And Saabs were always very popular over there, and I always wanted to be a mechanic. And when I came out of high school, I got an apprenticeship at a Ford dealership. And after about a year, when I came out of my time, I was asked by one of the salespeople there if I was interested in coming to work for him. And he said, well, I've actually acquired the Saab franchise for the area.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into Saab.
All right. And so really from pretty much just out of your apprenticeship, you've been working
basically
with Saab.
from the late 70s, I got involved with Saab, and because we were a brand new Saab dealership, we got all the training offered. Saab came out, in the mid-80s with a program called Saab Master Technician.
Yeah.
And it was a course that you could do, after being involved in Saab for a few years. And but to set the exam, you had to go to Sweden.
All right.
So yeah, they flew us to Sweden, and
in a Saab plane?
I don't think it was a Saab plane.
It would have had to be a fighter jet to get.
No, that would have been really cool. But the factory, they did have their own airstrip, so they flew us to the airstrip.
Did they build the planes at the same place?
I'm not too sure. I think they used to, and then later on, the automotive part took over those premises.
Yeah. So we've got a Saab 900 here, and you've got a yard full of glorious 900s in various states of repair. Would you say that the 900 is the definitive Saab model?
In my opinion, it is.
Yeah?
Definitely.
It's pre-GM, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, right. Okay. It seems to me for 1991 car, it's pretty advanced. I mean,
absolutely. Yes. It's
turbo. I mean, nobody had turbochargers
in
those days. So, I mean, because you look at this now. I mean, this is so outside of our experience, because this car has everything that a modern car has.
Yep.
There isn't anything that you would expect. Electronic fuel injection, everything's like maybe coil packs, maybe from but essentially it's all there. Everything that you'd expect on a modern car is here in this car from 1991, which is what, 30 years ago. It's amazing.
More than 30 years. But I mean, this fuel injection system in this car was pretty advanced back in the days.
Yeah, that's because it's from Lucas, you see. So they are very, very high tech.
It's actually
renowned,
partly Lucas, partly Bosch.
Yeah, right. Okay, right. So we'll get this in. It goes that way, yeah. It's lovely it's so nicely made.
Yeah, and the little Scandinavian wood.
Yeah. Oh, and this lovely little toolbox in there. Right, okay. That can go in there, that'll be all right.
Yep.
Okay, now, right, we're going to need to clean the windscreen a bit if we're going to drive it. Now, it came in for no brakes, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Okay, so we'll be careful.
Yeah, we'll need to use the handbrake.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you drive and I'll be the handbrake guy.
You sure you trust me on that?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Right, you want to give that a bit of a rub?
Oh, I don't know if that's going to come off. Okay.
Right. Get rid of years of beautiful patina. Yeah. That's good enough. I'll do my side.
Yeah, but I need to drive.
Yeah, you'll be. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
all right. Okay. Now, fortunately, it's not a hot day because our air conditioning won't be working.
No.
Okay, that's great.
So we do the rear window as well.
Okay. Yeah, a bit more. Right, okay. Oh, that'll do. We're only going around the paddock, we'll be fine. Okay, right. Here we go. It's great.
changing into gear.
It's good, isn't it?
The power steering is working, it's incredible. Got no brakes at all.
Really?